on Sunday Morning is sponsored by Subaru.
We leave you this Sunday back in Wisconsin on the Plover River in Stevens Point with not an elephant in sight. I'm Mo Rocca. Please join us when our trumpet sounds again next Sunday morning.
I'm Margaret Brennan in Washington, and this week on Face the Nation, former President Donald Trump charts a new course for the Republican Party as Democrats' anxieties over their own presidential ticket reach a fever pitch. The contrast couldn't be greater between the two candidates. Trump, on the heels of securing a running mate and the Republican nomination for president, appeared at a rally last night for the first time since his attempted assassination 1 week ago.
They keep saying he's a threat to democracy. I'm saying, what the hell did I do for democracy? Last week, I took a bullet for democracy.
The former president argued it's actually the Democrats who are preparing to thwart the will of the voters.
At this very moment, Democrat Party bosses are frantically trying to overthrow the results of their own party's primaries to dump crooked Joe Biden from the ballot.
Meanwhile, the calls for Mr. Biden to abandon his re-election bid continue to multiply, with just weeks to spare before his party's convention.
Hey, ho, ho! Thank you, Joe. It's time to go. Hey.
But the president remains defiant, reportedly angry, and frustrated by his critics, spending his weekend recovering from COVID in Delaware. Can Democrats pull themselves together to defeat Trump? We'll hear from West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin and Minnesota Democratic Congressman Dean Phillips. The co-chair of President Biden's re-election campaign, Cedric Richmond, will also join us. Plus, what more could the Secret Service have done to stop the attempt on Trump's life? We'll check in with the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Ohio Republican Mike Turner. Finally, we'll take a deeper look at what a potential Trump second term could mean for America and the world. It's all just ahead on Face the Nation. Welcome to Face the Nation. As we start a new week here in Washington, the country is still making sense of the tumultuous moment that we are in. On Monday, just 2 days after Donald Trump survived an assassination attempt at a Pennsylvania rally, a federal judge in Florida dismissed the charges brought by special counsel Jack Smith for Trump's mishandling of classified documents. Those counts had been widely viewed as the most serious charges out of all the felony counts he faces in federal and state courts. Smith plans to appeal. That same day, the Republican National Convention kicked off in Milwaukee, and Mr. Trump selected Ohio's junior Senator J.D. Vance as his running mate. And it was a rough week for Mr. Biden following both his COVID diagnosis and the ongoing debate within the Democratic Party about whether he remains at the top of the ticket. We have a lot to get to. Committee, Ohio Congressman Mike Turner. Good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So despite this epic security lapse, Donald Trump has praised the Secret Service detail and their actions last Saturday. I know you said the director of the Secret Service should resign if she's not fired first.
Correct.
You get to ask her questions tomorrow. What do you want to know?
Well, the failures are just absolutely outrageous and incredible. You know, first you start asking the question, is this a failure of resources? Is this a failure of protocols or a failure of management? It appears that now we know that it's all three. That people on the ground at Trump's campaign who were involved with security had asked for additional resources. They had identified that there were gaps. Now, what's interesting is when we have